My best quality is my unwavering allegiance to myself. I know who I am. If you don't or you can't figure it out.
Oh, hello. We're on the floor again this morning. How is everybody? Oh, good morning. How's everybody doing? Okay. Hi. I'm just going to say hi. I also want to hip you to this situation. Oh, sorry about the disco ball. There she is. Okay. So my back still hurts. I'm on the floor. Who gives a shit? How are you guys? Good morning, everybody. Hi. Let me say hi to you all. Y'all, we got a lot to go through. I just got some more documents about the media requests and all this other shit, and I want to talk about that. But let me say hello. Good morning, sis. Okay. Good morning. And another thing I want to do is that a lot of people have started following me since I had started this sort of screed, and people are new to me. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Not a lot though, but just because I'm talking about people's credentials, I feel like I should provide you with some. So BMD, got a 90-minute drive, pick up my 8-year-old granddaughter, better known as Chatty Cathy. Yeah, 8-year-olds will do that. Morning. Hi. Morning, Gen X lady. Lover bad puns. Hey, how are ya? Hey, Forrest, how are you? Morning. Oh, Kelly Kell. Also, Kelly Kell, I put your link in the chat yesterday. So hopefully people will follow your ass. Hi, Maureen. Oh, let's see. Hello from Aussie Cheryl and Amanda. Hi. Checking in from South Oz. Where in South Oz? My brother-in-law is from Melbourne. And I've been down down under. Miss Soap and Clay. Water to Amber. Good to see you, spaghetti dog. I can't. It's after midnight. Yeah. Oh, I'm way behind. Hey, Ola. Lover bad puns. I see the gang's all here. There's Miss Crusha. Bum, 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 ba-da-na-na. We're in South Australia. Okay. Yeah, I don't I love me some Australia. I do. It's the deadly creatures that you have that terrify me. But South Australia. Oh. I mean, my geographic knowledge extends to Melbourne and to Darwin. That's it. I just have friends that, well, like I said, my brother-in-law is from Australia. What are you kidding, Ola? I love that for her. Seriously, happy Pride. Put your flags in. Seriously. Come on. It's okay. No. Okay. That's all right. So yesterday I spent time talking about Christina's attorney filing the opposition to all of the declarations, and specifically about John's declaration, and why I think it's important to tell Christina's or it's not even Christina's side. It's just what's in the court record that doesn't get talked about, I don't think, enough, because, you know, Lauren got to go out and say all of these things, which is, you know, her right, whatever. She gets to go on a 9-hour live, basically making money off of making allegations that were never proved in a court. They weren't proved. They weren't proved up. The evidence they provided from Hidden True Crime was laughable. From what we saw, discovery hadn't even taken place. So, you know, and I think most critically yesterday was to draw out the fact that John Mathias was trying to be all the things. So he was trying to be the husband. He was also trying to be the psychologist, which he was not allowed to be in that court. And it's a really good example of white male privilege. I'm just going to say it, but it is. And it's also, it's hubris, and the court, you know, the court's going to have that final decision. Right. And so that's why I really wanted to go through the one that John did. So, and the response again, because I think the response is so critical. And I talked about, just did some follow up on the Reiner thing that Docket Decoder did. Love Docket Decoder, and really kind of pulling at the threads here. And some of the issues that people may have, and that I kind of personally have. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you represent yourself and you are, you know, in a position of power, like a psychologist or a lawyer or whatever that is, whatever that looks like, you, in my journalism history, those people are more accountable. And because of their licensure, or if you're a public official. So I've been through this spiel before, but so I am not new to Hidden True Crime. I came to them because they were covering the Delphi trial in a way that was absolutely, it was irresponsible. It was completely irresponsible from a journalistic perspective. And that is something that I know something about. Here's some of my press passes. Right. So, you know, boots on the ground. Let's talk about boots on the ground. And I'm showing these simply because I want to show that I actually have done this work, and I've been in places that are, you know, some people would consider sketchball. But the point is that I'm not afraid to show the work that I've done. But there's such a shroud of weird mystery, right? So this one is here. I put this here because that's when I went to the UN. That's when I was at something else in Africa. And here's when I was a kid. I wrote to the Richard Simmons show, and he wrote back. No badge covered in chocolate. Right. So anyway, nobody gives a shit. But my point is that it's okay. Show your credentials. It's fine. You know? How are they still getting 40K plus? I mean, the thing is that I think that, I don't know, people are creatures of habit, right? Oh, shut up, Molly Colleen. Oh, you exercised with Richard Simmons in LA. Yes. Yeah, my gaydar was straight busted when I was little. And yeah, I wrote to him. RIP. So Kelly Kell says it really confuses me how they have so many subscribers. Who knows, man? You know, I don't know, but I'm impressed with RS. Who isn't, right? Yeah. Yes, little shorts. Wait, what's Krisha up to? What's she say? Still live in metropolitan area. How's it? Oh, koalas. Oh, right. Sock monkey. Okay, so Forrest is saying it's a cult. They have their loyal members who can't see through the BS. And I think that, there's a fandom and and I think this could be true of anything, or of anybody. When you position yourself, again, when you position yourself as an authority on something, it's going to bring people in. But you have to, and that's my point, is that you have to be willing and ready to go ahead and be on notice that when you put it out there, people are going to ask about it. Right. And it's the opacity with which Hidden True Crime, Lauren and John and Grayson and all these people have acted during the proceedings. And I'm looking specifically now at this civil stalking injunction, which is bizarre. And so, I pulled up some, the fact that they keep using stalking makes me crazy, because I know people, I've never been through it myself. Janice Ballet Flats, I was just listening to you this morning, laughing my ass off about the cease and desist. I couldn't be happier about it. It was, maybe we'll play that. I love you even more. Wow. So what the hell was I saying? Brains. Eating brains. No, not that. So I'm focusing specifically on the trial that wasn't. And I pulled up because I keep saying we had enough evidence for a civil stalking injunction. And that's what they use. And it's like, yeah, you're correct, but let's go to the goddamn tape and take a look at what actually that entails. Because, and I know people have been saying this, and I know people have been shouting this into the wind, but these let me just pull it up. Proposed temporary. These are so easy. Now, let me clarify. When I say these are easy to get, I'm going to show you what I mean. So let me put this on stage. Oh, it's on stage. Hey, yo. So this again is from Subtext. I linked in that. Hey, Belly May. Hey, Young Black Economist. Hey, Figs. So this is again from public documents, right? And so this is this is the proposed amended temporary civil stalking injunction. So I need you to understand, and I need people to understand, and I need to remind myself, and talking out loud helps me do that, is that when you file into a public record, it's public. And when you file for an amended temporary civil stalking injunction in Utah here, this is the information that they had to put forward. And so let's just look at what the information was, or, unless there's exhibits with this, I don't know. This looks pretty straightforward. So it just has her name. Lauren Wright is a petitioner. Lauren Matthias, address and phone. To keep private, leave blank, right? So John Matthias' husband. So she is just saying it, don't spraying it. She's covering John. She's covering Grayson. She's covering her son. And so this might be the most offensive thing, is that she put Christina's weight at 140. No. What a bitch. So the respondent, again, proposed civil stalking injunction, right? Christina, date of birth, don't know, blue, brown, address. So she puts her fucking address, right? So here's what she asks. This is what Lauren, the petitioner, asked the court to do: obey all orders initialed by the judge. Personal conduct. Do not stalk the petitioner. This means that you must not do things such as follow, threaten, or defame the petitioner in a way that would cause, and this is the reasonable person thing, right? Reasonable person, like the reasonable person calculus is an actual thing when thinking about lawsuits. It's the reason, it's unless it shocks the conscience. So that's one of the things. It's like for something to there's what the reasonable person, and it can be obviously very subjective, but generally, what would the reasonable person consider to be afraid of, or be concerned about safety to a person or other? And the opposite side of that to then would be, and I think about it this way. So what's the reasonable person? Well, who the fuck knows what that is? But I would suggest that the alternative is that it would shock the conscience, right? That something is so clear, so clearly stalking, or whatever the case may be, that it shocks the conscience. So that is what I go by. So does it, and also, of course, the reasonable person standard. So and the code is here, and I can go look that up. No contact order. And again, all these people, John, I mean, has Christina even met John? Grayson, of course, and the son who she paraded around. Stay away order from the vehicle, job, school, whatever. Vehicle. So don't go keying anybody's vehicle. So another thing, good God. I mean, it's like everything, right? So she's checked all the boxes. No contact on phone, email, communications, anyway, petitioner or any person listed on this page. As well as any person listed below, either directly or indirectly through a third party, right? Because that was one of the, as I saw this devolve and I saw this playing out, or going back through this and looking at it, it's clear that it started to kind of, the wheels started to come off a little bit, right? Because there wasn't that tangible sort of evidence. There was this esoteric, not even esoteric, sorry. I gotta pull this back up. So there was a point, it seems, and when I was listening to Janice, and maybe I'll play that, is that it had nothing to do with Christina. Nothing to do with Christina at all. The Boise cop, and Janice is in here, she can correct me, is that call was not about Christina. And so it was this hodgepodge. It's like here's what it is. It's like Lauren took the opportunity, viewed Christina as a Festivus poll, where she could just, and I don't know, people probably know what Festivus is, right? Where it's an airing of grievances. And so she utilized, it seems, through all the public documents and all the random people that she pulled into this shit show, through 3 states, that Christina was the target of all of her pent up anger. But seriously, Kelly Kell, right? So it honestly, that's what it feels like to me, is that Christina became whatever symbol for Lauren to barf all of her stuff onto. And I think that looking at the docket, it's pretty clear that they had built their case on sand, inappropriate opinions about a person's mental health. But I remain stunned, is all I can say, because from what I can see, in order to get this civil stalking injunction, you basically just ask for it and then you wait for your evidentiary hearing, which would make sense to a reasonable person who needs to have one, right? And so this is the other thing too that really cheeses me off something fierce, is that there are people, mostly women, who are trying to escape or actually trying to extricate themselves from circumstances that could be deadly for them, a partner, whatever the case may be. But then you have folks out here like Lauren, John, Grayson, whoever, that to me are abusing that tool of the law that is so incredibly important and critical to people who are actually in danger, right? And that really bugs the shit out of me. There was this, I don't know if it was a Supreme Court case in the United States that was it was like Castle Rock in Colorado? But basically this one, the long story short of it is that there was a there was an injunction a woman had taken out to protect herself and her children. And the long story short of that case is that her children ended up dead by her ex's hand because he violated the order. It's why the judge in this case that Lauren brought against Christina said we have to be careful about how we're using the tools of the law. And so this is a tool of the law that is incredibly valuable and should not be misused. And when we started listening, we can listen to a little bit more of the hearing. But the judge was onto it from what I could tell. The judge was like, you know what? I'm not, I don't know, man. This is pretty weird. So did you watch the 9-hour live? God, I've thought about it. I've thought about actually sitting through that and just doing a fact check. But the fact checking on this, God, it's like trying to fact check this is like herding cats. Not that one. But it's like herding cats, right? Because the facts shift. And when facts shift, they aren't facts. I don't know. What the hell is I live and breathe? Osbrook, you and I got to talk about stuff. Oh God, lawyer in the chat. So these successive, everything that was in, and here's the other thing. When I'm thinking about this and when I'm thinking about the timeline, and let me pull up the timeline so I can get myself reoriented. So if we look at the timeline, and I think this needs to be updated, but it's the best to help me sort of, and I put this is in the chat. I think I pinned it somewhere, the link. Let me see. Okay, so the timeline is now, this is I'm going to scroll down here to cease and so this is another thing too. I forgot about all of the previous cease and desists, right? You better quit I mean, do you guys see this shit, right? So again, and cease and desists are basically like, okay, right, whatever. But Jesus Christ. So they were trying to, oh my God. Okay. Cease and desist to Stephanie. I'm not sure who that is. Unauthorized to access Lauren's iCloud account. All right. Dissemination of private communications and threats via Facebook. What are you talking about? You better quit lying. Okay. So this is the threat. Now, keep the reasonable person guardrails in your mind. When I'm thinking about this and going through this and looking at what the cease and desist, the temporary civil stalking injunction requires, is that this be viewed through a reasonable person's lens, right? So apparently this all started, whatever, April 2025. And this is just, this is literally a conversation between two people. And I think it's interesting that this kind of started, let's see. So Lauren's side, and you can see this here, is that Christina confronted Lauren. Lauren had a panic attack. What? Oh, God. At their Airbnb, extremely emotional, blah, blah, blah. Was this in Delphi? I don't remember. Does anybody remember if this is, because the crossover to Delphi here makes me kind of sick. I don't know if, let's see. Is Janice Ballet Flat still here? Okay. It was in Arizona in April. Okay, got it. Okay. But there is some crossover to Delphi, which I find fascinating. And that's down the road because I'll get there. I mean, this is going to be, look, I don't start back to school until September. So this is all I got to do. Because I think that it's like the judge says, we have to be careful about how we're using the tools of the law. And I'm seeing this sitting back as a journalist, law student now, and I'm seeing this play out, and I'm seeing, I started in this space, like, this is not fucking journalism. Call yourself whatever the fuck you want, but this is, sorry, I'm trying to not swear. Because I think Christina's dad or somebody watched the other day. But the point is that I'm seeing a pattern in practice here, and I'm seeing the pattern, and everybody, look, there are people who've been out here doing the Lord's work, right? So I want to be clear about that. And I linked to some of them in the description, but the pattern and the practice here is very litigious. that the world of YouTube, but it goes beyond that. And I talked a little bit about that yesterday, about how speech in general is very, there's a very tenuous grasp on the freedom of the press or the speech, or even in Texas, I think last month, people participating in a counter protest, whatever. There's a lot of threats out there, and the weaponization, the lawfare that seems to be conducted by the same people over and over and over again really mucks up a criminal legal system that does not need to be mucked up any further. We've got people that can't have court cases heard. We have people, I could get on my soapbox, but whether we're talking about Trisha and her legacy of lawsuits, or the Lauren, or even with me and some of the copyright shit and other creators, it's all these things to try to stifle speech and ultimately to scare people from talking. And that ain't how this shit works, America, right? Is that it is relying on, and the thing in this case with Lauren is that she utilized her brother's law firm, which, is, we know, is kind of a lot of information out there for everybody to go find out about the problems and the legacy of legal actions that her family has, which is, man, if you keep your side of the street clean, that's all I can say. It's a mess. And I think that doing this is absolutely the attempt to not only curtail speech, but in Christina's case, importantly, is that John was trying to get her refer it for criminal charges. And that to me is deeply disturbing. Now, fortunately, Christina had a great lawyer who was like, nay, sir, not today, right? And we went through that yesterday. It's like, no, you can't do this. You can't diagnose somebody you haven't met or that you haven't examined. I can't even think of a good analog, but it's just, it goes without saying. It goes without saying to me. It's like, you don't know this person. And it was so cruel. And that's the other thing. It was so cruel. Gross. It was cruel and unnecessarily cruel and just straight spitballing. There was nothing proved up. If there was something to be proved up, they would have gone to court. They would have, even if they didn't want to go to court, they would have provided more in their motion practice. And they didn't. And Christina told us yesterday that they were trying to get her to deal. Well, and Christina rightfully is like, well, I got nothing to deal with. I didn't do shit wrong. Let's go. Do it, lady. Right? And that to me is something that they were not prepared for, because what I can see from and I've known people like this. We all have. We've all known people like this who have never been called to the carpet, never had to face consequences for their actions. Personally, in our personal lives, right? This is not something that is a huge puzzle. We've all dealt with these people in our lives. Who are messy and to me, just cruel and very navel gazing, right? Very self-centered, and very sort of grasping at straws outside of themselves. And I mean, look, I've been in recovery for 24 years. I was a shit show mess. This feels desperate to me. It feels like a desperation. So I've also been, before I got sober 24 years ago, a navel gazing idiot asshole. And I'm not suggesting that there's any substance abuse. What I'm trying to say is I have been a navel gazing fuckwad. Right? So when I say we all know people like that, some of us maybe have been people like that. I don't know. But so this is not something that is terribly difficult to figure out or to suss out. And the weaponization of tears that are quite obvious, and the 9-hour live, which is unhinged, and frankly, it should really come down. I mean, honestly, at this point, that thing should really come down, because it's just so hurtful and hateful. And from what I can tell, from all available evidence, from the court docket to whatever is being said on the live stream, is that no, you got your feelings hurt. Right? And it's just, and so how bad would it be? So why I think Trisha and is a problematic figure. If she didn't have a relationship with Othram, I don't care. But Othram's basically, in my opinion, really in the data mining business, from all I can see. And I've checked into their EU stuff because that's my specialty. And am doing some research into how they're trying to conduct a business over there. So my point is that Trisha has that connection to Web Sleuths, and Web Sleuths is owned by Othram. Talk about a position of power. They're affiliated. They broke it. They bought it. With John and Lauren, John has positioned himself, and he's licensed, right? We know that. That's not up for fucking debate, sir. But when you put yourself out there and you make the same statements about, it's New York City, all right? Wambulance. When you make statements about Christina the way that he did in his sworn declaration, that cast her literally as having an antisocial disorder, and but he does that to everybody. And so the power disparity is something that makes me crazy. I hate it. And that's kind of been the driving force behind all the reporting I've done in my long, illustrious career that you can find easily online. But it's just it's so weird, people. So sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. Inner Psychic, the 9-hour live is full of lies. It's storytelling. Oh, somebody said self-will run riot. Where are my recovering addicts at? Alcoholics at? Right. It feels like it, right? But the thing is that it doesn't have to be. My own personal experience was with alcohol. But it's also just a thing, you know. Some people are just jerks. Yeah, so salty. I don't tolerate gaslighting men. I don't tolerate them nor gaslighting women who sit and cry in front of us to manipulate us. And that goes for whoever does that. That's all I'm going to say. But they have this is a roadmap to me as how to not do something, how to not comport your business. So when you look at this timeline, right, it doesn't even start. I mean, it starts with the tiff between friends, right? And the thing is that Christina can tell her story when it's time. But it started like this. Christina had a conversation with Lauren about statements Lauren had been making behind her back to a mutual friend, right? But Lauren's side, so this is interesting how this has been set up by subtext, is that, you know, she extracts these statements and the versions that have come out, and you can see the different lenses here. What Christina did. And look, I've talked to Christina. She seems sweet as pie. Now, I don't know, but when she expressed sympathy for John, Lauren, and Grayson after that horrible shit that he filed, when she expressed that, I'm like, oh man, wow, she seems nice. She seems to be a lady of faith. I don't know. Look, I don't know. Yeah, take your crying off screen, please. Because the thing is that it ma'am, take it down. Take it down. The audacity, right? It's the same kind of audacity and sort of elitist space that I've never occupied, where Trisha's going to try to co-opt Crush's family again. Gross. So let's see. Where were we? So the timeline is just real strange because they bring all of these people into it. So when I'm looking at this timeline, I see Christina confronted her. Okay, great. And then all of a sudden, once, and I would do this. If this was a friend of mine or a former friend of mine, I'd be like, hey man, what's up? I go direct. I don't play games behind the scenes. I don't know. That's not my personality type, but it's also because I have respect for people until they lose it. I have trust for people until they lose it. And if you burn me, or not even that, it's that if you show me who you really are, then I am going to believe you. And I've been, you know, I can be a sucker. But once you show yourself to be the person that apparently you've always been, by, in Christina's case, talking behind your back, saying shitty stuff, I'm going to go to direct. And what happened here should have been done right here. They should have had a conversation, which they did, and it should have been done. So the litigious nature of Lauren and Dr. John's inability to pull his head from his anus, in my opinion, and not consider for one moment, hey, I might be wrong here. Just count to 10. And I encourage everybody to go to Docket Decoder and look at his recent stuff about John and the way that John gets so angry about Lori Hellis, about something that happened years ago. These people are so grave. It's like, lighten up, Francis, right? Jesus Christ. Fucking stone cold weirdos up in here. So then she starts handing out, you get a cease. She's Oprah, right? She's the Oprah of cease and desists. You get one, you get one, you get one. She starts throwing these things out like goddamn beads on a float at Mardi Gras. It is beyond. When you have access to free legal services vis-a-vis your family, I guess you get to do this kind of shit. But this is such bizarre shit to me. Cease and desist, right? And so she goes on, one to Stephanie, one to Lindsay, one to Janice. So Janice, God love Janice. Janice goes direct, right? Goes direct. And the background of all of this is, and we know this is all true because we've seen all of the text messages, we've seen it all. And we've heard from people like Kresha and Kay and all these people who have been shit talked by Lauren and Trisha and all these people. We heard Colby Ryan get up and say, what the shit? So I'm not basing my opinion on bullshit. And so back in the days when people used to write editorials, right? An editorial was an opinion, but it was predicated on fact. It had to be like, you have to bring facts to form your opinion, or you're not going to make it on an editorial page. You're just not. Unless it's a purely personal whatever. If it's something that is analyzing, right? So we've gotten away from that idea that there has to be facts to base your opinion on. And I'm basing my opinion on the facts that are in the court docket and in the public record and through their own words. This should have never happened. And it's a cascading effect. And the thing is, again, it's like, you're not, if you can put your thumb, if anything that anyone reports or says or whatever is done in a way to recklessly or without any sort of thought, put things out there that are liable to sway something in like a court case or public opinion about stuff like that's I don't know. And that's kind of what Dr. John does, right? He gets out there and he was saying, and the first time I'm all over the place today. The first time I encountered them is when he made his proclamation about Richard Allen. And what he did, and this is in one of my playlists, is that back in late 2015, 2014, I don't know, a long time ago, Mr. Allen had struggled with alcoholism. He had a drinking problem. One night, he threatened to unalive himself with a pew-pew. All right. So, and his wife called 911. This was reported after, but the direction from the sheriff's department was to take him to a hospital because he was threatening self-harm. John and Lauren got out front of their huge audience and proclaimed that this was a domestic violence event, and it wasn't. It was a domestic. And somebody should have saved somebody else's ass there. The laziness, right? The laziness. Ah, Dreadful Penny is here. You are my part of my inspiration from keeping this in the zeitgeist because it's gross. So that was my first exposure to them when I was just like, wait a minute, this doesn't even track. Let me see. Maybe would it be helpful to see that video, or you just want me to keep going? Because I can keep going. But I was just like all over that shit at one point. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Here we go. Let's see. This is a long ass stream. Let me just oh, I'm not gonna be able to find it quickly, but basically it was just me pulling up their video about Richard Allen and just fact checking them on what they were saying. So let me see. So that was months ago. And I was just like, this is demonstrably false. And I actually went and asked, I left a message on their, and it's probably still there on their YouTube channel, and just said, please correct the record. Because he was making all of these diagnoses from afar about Mr. Allen being violent. And look, think what you want about the Delphi case, but what they reported was not true. It wasn't true. It just wasn't. And so you can't do that. What you can do, and what they should have done, was gone back and correct it. It's a busy day for the ambulance crew, but go and correct the record. I've said this before too. It's like, man, it's okay if you get shit wrong. Just clean it up. It's so weird to me because it's lazy. It feels lazy at the very least. At least when it comes to what they did with Delphi, and it was nonsense. Actually, let me see. So that was the proposed order. All right, that was a long way into it. I'm gonna put timestamps in here. So that was what goes into the stalking injunction, right? Is that this is the request. So let's go back and look at or actually let's listen to Janice, because I feel like listening to Janice. Where is she? Damn it, I just had it pulled up. Here we go. All right, hang on. Oh, God, Janice, I love this so much. Postpunk Mama, welcome on in. Let me make myself tiny. So this is Janice, who I love so much. Oh, hey, Streets. I can't. Oof. So let's listen to Janice. I'm going to go off camera for a minute and get my cat a treat before she bites my leg off. Let me know when you can hear it.
This is Sergeant Jacobs with the Boise Police Department in Boise, Idaho. This is in reference to a possible stalking situation that involves Lauren Mathis gracing your Lindsay, yourself, and Sarah. The report number this is under is 2025-510-902. My badge number is 786. If you give me a call back, so I can kind of get your side of the story, my number is.
Janice.
Hi, Janice. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. What's that?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, I was contacted last night. Excuse me, I've got to get the report back up so I can see exactly what is going on. Give me a second.
You're fine.
Okay, great. Let me take this out and get back up. So anyway, as my voicemail said, this is in reference to incidents that happened both in Arizona and here at the Coburg trial this weekend. Does that sound familiar?
I didn't do any. She says I was stalking her at the Kohlberger trial.
So no, not necessarily.
Okay.
Right. So what I'm gathering from all this, and it's very long and interwoven.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just trying to get everybody's perspective on what's happening. So apparently, Lauren was working with Lindsay, and maybe I'm wrong. And then Lindsay put her at Town Park, and since then she claims that Lindsay, Lori, herself, and Sarah.
Wait, is that dental Lori? Is that dental Lori that's being talked about right there? Huh. Why bring dental Lori into this shit, man? Why bring anybody into it? Hang on.
Approaching her and not leaving her alone. She's got several videos of encounters with different people in this group, and has she's downloaded those on.
Wait, did you hear that? She has several videos. I mean, so it's here's the thing, right? Is that she's accusing them of having videos and talking about her, and she's like, the cop is sitting here saying Lauren has videos of you guys in blurgity blurg. Okay, weird.
Our report on some of those. So just kind of wanted to.
And I gotta say this too. It's like law enforcement, do better. Do better. Because man, oh man, the way that and Penny went through this last night or whatever night it was, I don't remember, but the body cam footage from Vegas, and that officer should have just walked away. That was a failure. That was a failure. It bolstered her, in my opinion, to continue. It was so goddamn weird. Oh, you've never heard this before? This has been out there. It's amazing. Penny, I think that there's a link to all of this posted in my chat. I'm not sure. But yeah.
Your side of the story of what's going on with this whole mess, and kind of give me your perspective of what's happening.
Yeah, nothing
This is when the shit gets good. Like, we've heard enough of the cop at this point.
to do with Lindsay being her employer, because she says that I know she's told she actually called the Nevada Police Department and tried to turn some ladies in, saying that it was against the law to share screenshots, but it's not. Anyways, she says that they're disgruntled employees, but they're not. Basically, Lauren has over the years talked shit and lied about a lot of people. And
Right.
those are like in messages, and the people that she messaged to, they're no longer friends with her. They weren't employees, so she can say that. There are some other ladies that I'm not going to name names, but
Lauren got her feelings hurt because she was talking shit behind. Look, I'm just translating. Lauren was talking shit in a group of women. Lauren was like, oh my God, I've been talking shit about victims and my friends. Holy crap. And Janice is just like, oh my God, buckle up, Penny.
so they have shared those messages, and Lauren has made up a lot of shit about me, which this is so stupid. Middle school drama. Like,
Ding, ding, ding.
She doesn't know me, and she's telling people Janice is a swinger. I have messages, little screenshots of her saying that. She doesn't know me. And then she says her husband.
Janice is a swinger. Oh, I forgot. Oh, Jesus wept. This is beautiful.
Because of stuff. And she just is like said all this shit about me. So I found out about it, and I did. I wanted to go up and talk to her about it in Arizona. And she had a complete freak out. She was like freaking out. Oh my gosh, are you recording me? And like ran into the courthouse and then opened up the door, and she's like, Janice, she's recording me. You are a bully. I feel threatened by you. Stay away from me. And I'm like, okay, all I want to do.
So that's the setup. So Lauren is videotaping herself saying, you're a bully. I feel threatened. It's like she's been given, she knows a couple words to use to make it seem plausible that, that's her evidence. So she's, in my opinion, Lauren was manufacturing evidence, right? Manufacturing evidence. I wanted to come back to this, though. There was a question up here about, did Detective Bobby Joe ever face any consequences? Seems like she should. I haven't called in a long time, but that's a great question. Also, I think it's interesting that Susan Hendricks, was she at CrimeCon this year? There's like a cabal, and it's like a nerd. It's like a cabal of ninnies. Seriously, it's like it's so weird. Anyway, back to Janice, because God damn it.
She's like, stay away, you're a bully. I'm like, okay. And she was freaking out, and then she took off running and got some cops involved. And so they took me into a room and talked to me. And they're like,
was that in the courthouse?
Yeah, I was at the courthouse. Okay. And they took me into the room, and they're like, what's going on? And they're like, this lady says she feels threatened by you. They're like, we need to know if you feel threatened by her. And I'm like, no, she's an absolute joke. I'm like, all I wanted to do was talk to her. And she took off running like,
oh my God, Janice. Lord, give me the energy of Janice every day, because no, she's a joke. Hilarious. That's another thing. These people need to be made fun of, right?
Trying to make this big scene, like trying to, like, you are a bully. I feel threatened by you. And like everyone's just looking at her like, you are an idiot. Okay. Anyway, so the cops were like, what's this about? And I'm just like, well, she was talking shit about people, including like victims of this case, whatever. And they're just like laughing because they're like realizing like she's crazy. So from that point on, like even the officers, every time I came in, they're like, because I was sitting outside the courthouse waiting, so I wanted to talk to her, and she was late that day. Usually she's there early, and I was just going to talk to her, like nothing. Like I just wanted to ask her why she was telling people lies about me, like complete made up shit. Right. And she had a big freak out. So the cops were like, are we gonna have to stand outside there and watch? And I'm like, no, like I'm a big girl. I'm not gonna do anything. All I want to do is talk to her. And so like literally the rest of that trial, they were like, hey, bully, keep it up, keep the peace up there. Like they were funny. Like they, even at the end, they like wanted to take their picture with me because we had this inside running joke, and like Lauren was the joke. They thought she was ridiculous.
Oh my God, please tell me a photo like that exists.
Anyways, so that ended, and I don't know why she would say that something happened. Like that was it. She like brought up the phone and thought I was being a bully. So we're at the Kohlberger case. I didn't do anything. So after that in Arizona, one of our friends did talk to Lauren and she recorded it. She recorded the conversation. Lauren doesn't know it's recorded. And anyways, after she got done talking to her friend, then she sent out cease and desist letters to the people that she thought had sent the text messages, her old friends. And then she sent one to Lindsay, told them cease and desist. Okay. So
there it is. From her, oh my God. Clear. This is, oh my God. Janice, I love you so much. I don't even know you, but I came to know and love you through clips and through like Jay's chat, Jolene's chat, because this is the cease and desist. You've given us, this is an anthem. Janice Ballet Flats has given us an anthem. We are ceased and we are deceased. And oh my God, Krisha. No, thank you. Aw, you don't have to do that. We're just here having fun. Under Krisha. I am ceased and deceased. I love this so much.
We're at Kohlberger's case.
Right.
It's the day before. Lindsay and Lori are sitting under the News Nation tent.
Right.
And Lauren comes over and she's talking to some of the people. And then she walks right by Lindsay and Lori and waves really fast. Waves, hi. And she sent a cease and desist to them.
Right.
But she's coming towards them. Like, why would that even be? So Lauren doesn't know I'm there because I'm sitting in the car. Well, then at night, we're sitting out there lined up. And then Lauren comes over and realizes I'm there. And she sits there for like an hour. I don't say anything to her. And I wasn't planning on saying anything to her.
This was at the restaurant?
No. This was the night before.
Okay.
So we're sitting there. She leaves, I guess, because she feels uncomfortable. The next time I see Lauren is at the press conference. I don't even talk to her.
So hang on. Now Christina wasn't even here. She was in no way involved in this part of this, right? I mean, and this is a stunning thing, right? To me, is that, well, I mean, there's a lot of stunning things, but they're literally scooping shit into a pile. They're trying to, Christina was in Europe. I mean, okay. This is why this needs to be just continually exposed, because what they did was they filed a bunch of horrible, you can go read them. They are unsettling and declarations about how awful Christina is without any proof. John diagnosed her without any standing to do so in a court because he was not an expert. It's so and here, so this is in the lore. This is in the Lauren civil, stalking lore now. Oh, there she is. Is that I showed showed up all in the Boise police report. And the thing is that this is the crafting of a narrative. Here's what I think that John and Lauren should do. Everybody remembers that idiotic story that John wrote about how he fell out of a fucking car, right? And then he parted the Red Sea of South Dakota full of bison. And I don't know, did he wrestle a bear? I don't know what else he did. But these people go write fiction. Go write fiction. He was hit by a semi-truck. It was insane. Ski, Utah. Yes, he was hit by a fucking semi. I actually, oh God, you know what? That was a whole, stop. It's like, sir. Ugh. I mean, the man is nothing to, I mean, just everybody just go look up histrionic because what? By the way, Christina, where were you in Europe? I'm just being nosy. Just being nosy. Where'd you go? You don't have to tell me. Anyway, so this is narrative crafting. This is setting the stage. This is laying all the traps and scraping together actual feces on the floor of the stall to present it and dump it into a court of law. That's the problem. You can be messy, messy, messy. Have piles of garbage everywhere if you would like. Right? Oh God, that just did. So Just Me said he had more near-death experiences than Chad. Yikes. I hadn't even thought about that. But it's when the car, oh, Prague. Oh, Francesca, Imig Chanka. So I'm Czech. Cotswolds, London. So my sister lives in London. Oh, girl, did you go on a Viking cruise? Because it sounds like it. It's gorgeous. Prague's my favorite. Anyway, what the hell was I saying? It's just, rescuing. That's right. Run over by a semi. Rescuing turtles. Wait, who did this? Oh, HMS Gen X lady. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. That was so sweet. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. Prague is lovely. So, see, this is the reason why I'm a Czech citizen as well as an American citizen. So, this is one of the reasons that I've been studying EU law. But anyway, which is also why I've been able to kind of dig around about Othram in Europe, which is sketchball, but we'll get to that another day. Oh my God. So Christina's saying we took our 4 kids, my mom and my sister-in-law. We flew from London to Prague and took trains everywhere else. Oh my God. Prague. No one. Okay, we got to get back. We got to get back to Janice because Janice is going to tell us about stalking and her opinion on it.
Lauren is at the press conference. I don't even talk to her, but she came up to Lindsay because Lindsay was sitting there and Lori and Sarah, and she's like, "Can I sit there? I want to sit there." And asking Lindsay if that seat was available, and Lindsay just turned and it like didn't say anything because of the C and D. And then she turns to Sarah and is like, can I sit here? And Sarah says, no, that's safe for Janice. Well, she didn't like that answer. So she asked Lindsay again. And Lindsay doesn't say anything because she's not going to. Because in the thing it said, if you do anything, we will take legal matter. So Lindsay's just...
So she's following the cease and desist, right? Because the thing is, Lauren, when you issue a cease and desist, people who follow rules or understand that even though it's kind of, whatever, that they abide by it. And it seems like the only reason I would go up to somebody after filing a cease and desist against somebody was to try to provoke something. Now that's back when I was a real asshole, right? That is back when I was a real a-hole. So, stop it. Get out of here. Thank you for the memberships. I don't know. We'll have to all get together and figure out what to do on a live. It's probably just going to be me and the cat. Thank you. It's so sweet. So Janice says that's exactly what Lauren was trying to do. I mean, I'm having trouble. I'm trying to look at the other side of it because I think that it's important. And I really do think this. I really think it's important to, for me, when I'm thinking about these things is to actually, I've moved. Oh God, let me take the disco ball off. I don't want to give anybody a seizure. I do try to think the alternative. So I try to think of the alternate side because that's, hey, Mar, how are you? Sorry about the cough. But so I try to think about the other side because you have to think, for me anyway, I have to think all the way around the edges. I have to think all the way around the edges before I can come to a conclusion because I could be wrong. I could be missing something. What might it be? So, yay, welcome aboard, Buttercups. So I thought, and when I'm listening to Janice, I'm thinking, okay, well, what would be the benefit of the doubt? Because when I think around the edges, I have to think of all sides of it. That's how I think. And so what would be the alternative, scenario there that would bring Lauren to the yard? And the only alternative is that she just felt entitled to get closer to the action, right? I mean, because that's kind of what was going on, was that she was trying to get closer to the action. What does Janice say? After they found a seat on the front row, on the other side, Grayson back over and stood right by Dental Lori. I was on the row behind them and recorded Grayson proximity. And she told the officer I had my camera in her face. She's you know what? Oof, there's a whole, that is a, that young lady is a whole other kettle of fish. I got no idea. I got nothing on that. Let's go on.
Lauren doesn't want to be contacted or anything.
Right.
Well, then Lori says to her, I don't know why you're talking to her or something like that, but you sent a cease and desist. Leave her alone.
Yeah.
So Lauren just goes and sits on the other side of the room.
I love it so much. I love it so much. I'm sorry. I'm not going to stop it again, but oh shit. Seriously. The realness and the way that, Janice is like, look, and for another thing, because she's a grown up, right? We can have spats. We can be, petty. We can do all of those things. But again, to me, it's when you drag it into a court of law that it becomes deeply problematic, right? Ooh, yikes. But yeah.
That was it. We all left. We're at dinner. And we were there for 2 hours. We come out. Two of my friends went out early because we were waiting for check or whatever, and two of them paid and they went outside. And then I come walking out. My friend's like, did you see who just walked by? I said, no. And I turn around and Lauren and Grayson are sitting at the table right by the door.
Right.
So I just put up my camera and I start recording them. And then I put my camera down and I just stand there and we're just talking, listening to music. And then Lindsay comes walking out, but Lori and Sarah aren't with her. And then I look up and Julie's like, oh my gosh, Lori's talking to her. So Lori's just telling Lauren, you sent her a cease and desist, stop following her, stop talking to her. And
okay, I laugh because I love, truly. Look, the world's pretty heavy right now, right? This is a heavy topic. And my God, Janice, you are just a ray of sunshine here. Truly. The honesty, the cease and desist, and all of it. Hey, Jay.
And then Lauren's like, I can talk to her. It's a press conference. I can do that. And we're like, no, you can't.
Right.
We have it recorded. The whole conversation's recorded. Sarah recorded it. And then to Sarah, she's like, I don't know who you are. Get away from me. You make me feel uncomfortable. And it's laughable because they know each other. She's known her for a couple years through different trials, not like they know each other. She has Sarah's phone number because Sarah was going to do her eyelashes. Like, you will find out that Lauren is the biggest liar, narcissistic. She's going to spin the narrative. We weren't stalking her. We were at that restaurant. She actually knows that that restaurant is Lindsay's favorite restaurant in Boise because when they were friends, they'd go there all the time together.
Right.
So it's kind of ironic that she would show up to Lindsay's favorite restaurant in Boise. And here's the other thing. It's self-seating, but you have to go in. So she probably saw us in there and she continued to stay there, sat at the table right by the door.
Okay.
So she can say how
Uh,
she wants. There's no stalking. No one would want to stalk that ugly bitch.
And there it is. Jesus Christ. Okay. Y'all. I mean, oh, there.
She is trouble. I'll tell you that much. Like, so much trouble.
Okay. So, I appreciate that. I still need to talk to.
Yeah. They're going to call you.
Lindsay, Laura, right. Just so I can put you in the report, do you mind if I get your date of birth and address? Okay, so I'll put down what you said and whatever Lindsay and Lori and
there's nothing malicious or knowingly harming in us being at a restaurant that we were eating at and she showed up. And I was at a trial already there before her. So she's just like, you're going to find out this lady is batshit crazy. And you know what? The funny thing is I have a friend that is a ISP cop. And I called her last night right as this was happening. I said, oh my gosh, I know she's going to call the police in. And I told her what happened and I sent her the video and she's like, oh my gosh, that's it's laughable because she literally is such an idiot.
Right. Yeah. So, yes, like I obviously can't get legal.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
But I would say, like, if you guys are going down to the same trials or you see her, like, just
we stay away. That's the thing.
Yeah. Run away.
Let me just tell you this other thing. She said she felt so threatened by me, and like I was a bully. So that was the first trial in Arizona. Like I forgot.
And I love that. I love that. She's like, while I've got your ear, sir. And also, yes. So I'm going to trademark copyright. The new thing is cease and genised. That means you've been served. Cease and genised.
More right after that. And she sat on the back row with the media. And there was one day that there was a detective brought down from Rexburg. And I said, I'm friends with his wife. And so they said, you can come over here and sit on this row so I could see him, and it was like, she was 2 rows behind me. Well, at break, she couldn't handle that I was that much closer. She literally moved up 2 rows and sat right behind me. And I'm like, if you feel so threatened by me, why would you get that close to me? You know what I mean? Like, it's laughable. Like, she makes up her own rules and excuses.
I think what you said earlier probably coming into play here, in that there's a lot of drama here.
She's the drama.
Oh shit. Oh God. I mean, I'm so jealous that Jay got to meet everybody. Oh, Ballet Flats. Oh shit, man. I love it. Because I think Janice is right. At this point, I fought around all the edges. And it seems to me that hidden true crime, the drama is in the house. It is in the room with you. And again, I wouldn't give a shit about all this weird drama. We all have lives, but you drag it into a court of law. And you...
There we go. Yeah. It looks like there's drama on both sides, to be honest with you. Like,
come on.
There's no point. If she is crazy you say she is, there's no point to approach her and talk to her.
I don't approach her. I've never even had a conversation with. The only time I tried was that time when, and I wanted to just say, that was the first time I just wanted to talk to her and say, like, what? And then she had the complete freak out. Like, freaked out.
So That's what I'm saying. Like all that stuff, it's not worth it. So
I know.
Right in the future, just tell all your friends, like cut and run and don't get sucked into the drama. Okay, all right, I appreciate you. Thank you.
He's like, no, I gotta go, gotta go.
All right,
Oh, give it up. Give it up. Hearts in the chat, or if you have a toot emoji in the chat for Cease and Janice. Because wow. I mean, kind of says it all. So toot toot. I'm trying to work on those. He was done with you. Well, you know what? Look, he's a public servant, and he was there to serve you. And these little hearts and the toot toots in the chat for Cease and Janice. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about, I mean, I don't know how to top that. I just don't. The toot toots in the chat. But I pulled up one of Jay's streams and I linked it below because you should really go watch it. But then I also pulled up this from our friend, let me see, Jolene. Because was this the part where he's talking? Okay. So we do have to watch this for a minute because this is pretty stunning. I forgot about this part too. Let's listen to Jolene and go. I mean, everybody's following this gal because she's on fire. She's a good Midwestern girl from Minnesota. And I have a mom from Minnesota, and they're real nice until they're not. Oh God. Yep. They'll bring the hot dish, but they'll throw it in your face. So anyway, but so she's roasting their reply to the 9-hour live stream. And I haven't been able to go through all of Jolene's old stuff on this, but oh my God.
What are they talking about? Serious nerd alert. Not like fun nerds.
Right.
No thanky. No thanky. No humor. It sucks. What happened on Patreon, you guys? If someone doesn't mind putting it in the live chat or the comments, because I'm like, what are they talking about? Okay, Dark59 said they made people pay to find out how they were doing. Wait, like about this? And they said they were being sarcastic about it? I believe.
Like,
they thanked Horror Hall. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, because everybody who's terribly frightened for their lives would thank their stalker on Patreon. Catabaloo says they are upset with you, Lauren, because you backstabbed your friends and spoke badly about the victims. I mean, can I get an amen? Can I get a gay amen on that one? Thank you. But she doesn't want to admit the errors of her ways. She would rather just keep hiding and making them look more ridiculous and more like liars. Kelly says, because they were laughing about all this being a joke. Ha ha, so funny. When for 9 hours, you pulled at the emotional heartstrings of your subs who trust you.
Ding, ding,
to
ding.
get money and sympathy and to throw your ex-friend under the bus. And get her back. Get revenge.
A part of that segment and say, oh my God, she's not serious about stalking.
Duping delights or duper's delight.
So stupid.
If you don't laugh, you're stupid, John. John's mad at us. John's like, so stupid. You're so stupid. Me and my wife are not stupid. You're stupid. This is why I like hearing John tell us we're stupid. Because he's so stupid.
You can't clip a part of that segment and say, oh my God, she's not serious about stalking.
Duping delight or duper's delight.
So stupid.
So stupid.
So stupid.
So stupid. I can't wait to go to Wendy's episode. It's so fucking stupid. If you don't laugh, you can give them a chili. The thin fries. I don't even care. It's so stupid. Fries sometimes. Yeah. Thank you.
Everybody that deals with true crime and law enforcement.
Lies about civil stalking injunctions because they're mad at their friends and people are about to spill the tea on them. Everybody in true crime tries to silence people with the law.
No.
Everyone in true crime infringes on people's First Amendment rights. Duh.
investigators, they know how difficult it is. They know the importance of humor.
Bitch. Yeah, okay. John, show us the receipts, sir, at this point. Because as we saw yesterday, right? This guy, whoa. He keeps saying anybody who deals with the law and anybody that does this and that. It's like, I could only find one instance in the state of Utah in 2021 where you were paid $2,500 by Kane County. That's it. And I've only been able to find, and others have been able to find and pull up, 2 cases where you did the wrong assessment, if I'm remembering correctly, in a PDF file case about recidivism. So it's no wonder to me that, you know, they don't want people reading the documents. They don't want people knowing. Now, Jolene is laying it out here, but it wasn't just, I mean, we've seen this. We saw in the timeline that it wasn't just Christina. It was, she was lumping everybody and making Christina the Festivus pole of all of her ills, all the ills of the world. And it's so obvious when you start deconstructing it and when you do start actually looking at the public court documents. And you know, that's the reason why I pulled up the response from and go watch this too, and go watch Jay's, which is in the description, because the thing is that every one of us that have looked at this look at it from a different perspective. The only thing I really know is journalism, because that's kind of what I've done, and I'm starting to, you know, with the law stuff, whatever, right? So I can only bring my experience to it. There's true crime. Jolene's bringing the roast, a hat dish. Penny is giving, like, so everybody brings this different thing. But when you start going through the documents, bit by bit by bit, it falls apart. So he can get up here, and these two can get up here and say, if you have to laugh or otherwise you'd cry. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. You know, I'm just not. Because there is nothing that suggests in the record at all that there was anything that Christina did, or any of them. And it's just, it's galling to me, because they get to put out this narrative and then they come for anybody who questions it. And that is not how this works. It's not. But I want to go through just a couple more things. So they're making all of these declarations. So again, this is the subtext, has all the dockets and case information, and all of the voicemails and all this stuff are publicly available. Again, public trial. It's public trial. So you go through all of this. You know, Lauren is making all of these declarations. John's making declarations. Grayson is. Then they're revising them. Then they're updating them. And then they're dragging their family members into it, talking about how their family members are in hospice. And it's like, God damn it, don't do that. Why would you drag that in? I mean, it is a slimy ass move. And you know what? It's true. It's a slimy ass move by a daughter who would use her mother in hospice, which is what she does in her publicly filed declaration. Let me find it, because it infuriates me. She's weaponizing her family in a court filing to pile on and say, I am so, maybe you were under stress because of that. Maybe you were stressed out because your mother was in hospice. I don't know, man. So this is her first declaration. I don't know if this has it in it. So Christina has also been using a group of people. Bullshit. No, she has not. See, I mean, the thing is that this is so, there's so much dispositive information out there at this point. Like, I just wish she would take that live down, right? I wish she would take that live down because it is so harmful. And why do I know it's harmful? Because Christina's told us she's lost work because of it. Because when you go and do a Google search, you can't find shit on Dr. John Mathias. But man, oh man, a lot of information about Christina. She does sound like Erica. Yep. Right. So that's another thing too. It's like, don't weaponize hospice. I've been there. It ain't nothing pretty. You bring that into a court filing? See yourself to the door. I don't want anybody's family member to be ill. Also true is I do not want anyone weaponizing hospice in a goddamn allegation of civil stalking. It's the kitchen sink. It's the yard sale. It's like everybody into the pool. And it's incredibly obvious. Christina's been using a group of people. Yeah, when she was in Europe, she had this huge thing going on. She told me, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. She used MI6 plus the former KGB to get her group of Janice Ballet Flats and Dental Lori and all these other people together. She coordinated a vast conspiracy. I mean, I don't know, man, unless I'm missing something. Yeesh. And that's just it. So HMS, it's so unfair to tie this to Christina, right? Because the thing is that, again, from the timeline, she sets all of this up by inserting herself into situations and putting people in uncomfortable positions after they've been given a cease and desist to try to provoke a reaction. Is sure as hell what it seems like. From the totality of the evidence and the way that John and Lauren responded, like, just leave the 9-hour live, right? If you're going to go do something weird like that, just let it stand. Nah, couldn't do that. Could not do that. They had to come back and quadruple down. And everybody's mental health, right? And it's just, it's disgraceful. It's just to comb back through all of these documents that I really hadn't read that closely in a long time. So I think there's one true thing, right? In this, Christina came up to me, cried, let me know she heard what I had said about her and that 2 former contract workers were releasing text messages. I don't know about that part, but I do know that Christina did come up to her because Christina told us. Because why wouldn't you? Because we're grown ass women. We are grown people, right? God damn it, Olaf. Oh, What is HMS? What's wrong with HMS? Somebody says, I'm so sorry. Oh yeah. Yeah. Ooh. But it's just later that night, I received a frightening voicemail. Okay. She brought up the fact that she said I didn't know who she was. What? Okay. I sent her a text message that I was feeling threatened. Exhibit 04, threatened. So what she's saying is I sent an unsolicited text message to a woman who had not called me saying, I feel threatened by you. That's not how that works. That isn't how that works. A couple of days later, I was sent a Reddit comment. Does she know that Reddit's that was made by Christina? That's bullshit. Now, there's no exhibit here. You want to know why? Probably because it was from an anonymous account, which is exactly what Reddit is, right? and Christine, and so Lauren goes on to say she denied they were her posts, despite evidence from her account. What? Okay, so 16 here. I texted her requesting, whatever, right? Don't defame me. So she's using all the buzzwords. Was made by Christina, alleging I was plagiarizing and poached an employee, right? Okay. Reddit, here's the difference. There's no exhibit. Again, because Reddit comments, unless Christina just went on there and said, hey, this is my name. Oh my God. That voicemail. Right. Oh, Liz. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. So here's the exhibit. Exhibit 4, threatened. So again, the positioning on this is important. And I mentioned yesterday that language is I enjoy. What she's saying here is I sent Christina a text message stating to please not share a conversation that was private, as I was feeling threatened. So out of the blue, there's a one-sided message. It doesn't say I responded to a ranting, raving text message from this out of control Christina woman that I was feeling threatened. That is not what it says. A couple days later, she was sent a Reddit comment. Give me a break, lady. She denied that they were her posts. I began to feel unsafe. Okay. So Reddit thread, where? Where is it? Where's all the exhibitees? I mean, she's going through and saying all this shit. Then she's talking about the TikTok. Then she's bringing in her dead brother. It's like gross, man. You don't have to tell us your life story. And maybe, just maybe, your grief or whatever was impacting the way that you behaved. I don't know. I mean, Jesus. Right. So GGB says feeling threatened and feeling exposed are two completely different things. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Ginny's Ballet Flats. Excluding that Proton email was very telling. Okay. So where was it? And this is something I gotta make a note. Because let's see. I think, was it Trisha that was saying she got a Proton email? Something from it seems to be making the rounds of the Proton. It's just, oh God. Oh. So, lover of bad puns is someone who had a stalker. Lauren revels in the idea when the reality is it's soul destroying. I'm sorry that happened to you. A good friend of mine had a stalker that that would show up, unfortunately, and she would see him standing outside her window. And again, that's why I get so pissed. Yeah, they're all scared of Proton. It's like, it's just an encrypted, get over it. Do y'all use Signal? Do y'all use whatever? Give me a break, dum-dums. I mean, like, it's some sort of again, this ties in to Christina's European vacation, wink, because she was really putting together all sorts of stuff, from her intel overseas to put together this cabal of cute young ladies running around trial tours. It's just, it does not stand up to scrutiny. It doesn't. And the thing is that I want to look at, so anyway, she goes through and she talks about, I can't. So I gotta, let me just see. So again, this is on the subtext, objections to defense declarations, defense counter moves. So serve a CSI. So the hearing was canceled. Lauren backed out. Now I have the official backing out document that I'm going to share. And I think this needs to be added. This might be new to the circulation of documents, but I'll get it to subtext and make sure we get all of this shit publicly available. Because the thing about Utah too, to keep in mind, is that their public access to court documents is not like every other state. Every state is different. Like, I can access, like, if it's Indiana, my case, or if it's New York State or whatever, I can look up certain things and like, I have an alert on certain stuff going on in the Southern District of New York. I get alerts when new things are filed. Now but Utah, it's very difficult to get those things. So let's see. Let me pull up this other document. Let me remove this. And so this is the stop screen. Please stand by. Actually, what I'm going to do is this. Share screen. Let me get the document pulled up. So I think this might be new. I didn't see it up there. So I want to talk about this next, which is, this is when the wheels come off for real. This is when it comes off for real. Because what's happening here is that this is when Lauren finds out that Law and Crime has asked to, made a media request, which is not weird. That ain't weird. She made it, sounds like, and the hypocrisy is just absolutely crazy. It just, whatever. It's obvious. So, let's see. Okay. So this was filed, after a long crime said, hey, you know, we want to cover this. And again, it's public. We have the audio. All they were doing was following court procedure. So in Utah, you have to request to have either, whether it's like, you know, a camera in the court or whether it's whatever it is, you have to go through and apply to do that. And I will mention here for all the people that are anticipating anxiously the Trisha Griffith hearing on August 12th, I think. If you want to, you can't record that. And this goes to the making a request of the court. You can't record or broadcast anything that happens in court without permission, unless it's live streamed via the court itself. So an outside entity. And so that's the same in the Trisha case. So if you are planning on doing that for educational purposes and streaming it, just make sure you reach out to the court and ask for permission first. Follow the rules of the court. And so that's what Law and Crime did. They made a media request. So this title is something. You can put whatever you want. Your motions can say whatever they want on the top. Objection. So this is from Pace, Conte Sauce, right? Because God Almighty knows we got access to all sorts of lawyers. Objection to unspecified, unverified media requests for attendance at evidentiary hearing and access to court records. That is a long, you know what? Just you can just say object. You're doing too much with your title. You're doing too much. So again, I think this is new. I didn't see it up on the thing, and Christina shared it with me. But it'll be, you know, when I get it to subtext, she'll put it up. Petitioner, through counsel, hereby objects to the unspecified, unverified, viable media request for attendance at the evidentiary hearing scheduled for October 16th, 2025, and for access to the court records in this matter. In this, now, is this a law and crime one? Hang on. Petitioner, legal standard. Why doesn't it say law and crime? Does anybody know? I'm not sure. What's the story here? Because it doesn't say law and crime. But she said, oh, I'm sorry. So CH says, so I wonder why that wasn't disclosed. But she found out. What? This sounds weird. Why wouldn't it be disclosed? I mean, I'm actually confused. I have no idea. Let me just see what date this was filed. Please stand by. Okay, so on October 8th. Okay, so this had to be it. This had to be. Yes, this had to be law and crime because they wanted to be at the evidentiary hearing that was set for October 16th. And this is the shot across the bow to try to get that, you know, to yeet that. But then she goes on and says, you know, and law and crime wanted it. Yeah. Guess what? That's what you do. That's what Hidden True Crime LLC does. They go into courtrooms and they put everybody's life on display. They use children who have been murdered against, you know, and burn victims. My God. Ma'am, this is what you do to Kresha and Kay and Larry and Colby. I'm not making this up. It's an actual thing. Because they've all come out and publicly said it. So the very idea, and this is where I'm having trouble giving grace to the gems who are still there, unless they just simply don't know. But did they not understand that 9-hour live, she was protesting the very thing that she does and gets money for? I just, and then John goes on afterwards, like I think in the rebuttal, the 3-hour stupid ass rebuttal, to say that, he was pissed because they didn't get to look at all the evidence. Well, that's because you removed yourself from the proceeding. You dumb. I mean, you've been on all these courtrooms. You've seen 500, whatever. You've done all this shit. Certainly, you know that there's discovery. Certainly, you know that there's a process in which evidence is given. I mean, none of it makes any sense to me, except to say that this went way further than they thought it would ever go, because Christina said, no, I will not take whatever bullshit deal you're trying to offer me in the hallway or wherever the hell it was, when Lauren didn't even want to come into the room. Man, I can tell you one thing. I had an ex who I was abusive. And when I had my day in court, you bet your ass I showed up, because I got to fucking do something about it. Dude, take advantage of your day in court. Show up. Give the information. This is just stupid. It's so crazy to me that this has gotten this far. Fuck. It's such a mess. And the thing is that they will not back down from it. It's beyond the pale. It really, really is. And the thing, and again, I said yesterday that every motion, every whatever that's filed is a conversation with the court, but it's also a conversation with opposing counsel. And as this guy well knows, it's also a conversation with the public, because they are public documents once they hit the docket, unless you file it under seal. So they're communicating. So just bear that in mind when you read this kind of stuff, or when you see this kind of stuff. It's like they're having a conversation. This isn't just filing to be filed. I mean, certainly it is. But they're having a conversation. They're having a very lengthy conversation. And what they're doing is they're trying their case. What is happening with this Dastin Dow? Again, look that guy up. What they're doing in this filing that could have been just a simple objection. Okay? And this is, oh God. Again, the title, brevity. It's your friend, dum-dum. Petitioner through counsel objects to unspecified, unverifiable media requests, whatever, right? So we don't want to. We want to close the hearing to the media and the public, because they saw what happened when Christina's family and friends showed up. It's so obvious. I mean, petitioner respectfully, okay, close the evidentiary hearing to the media and the public. No. I mean, if you want to bring your son onto center stage, then you tailor your motion that part of the hearing is going to be closed. Alternatively, from a mother's perspective myself, don't bring your fucking kid into it. Stop it. No. The weaponization, God, man, y'all. Oh, Lord. I mean, it's so this thing I find striking. The statement that is made by Daston Dow. As a reminder, comma, the court found cause to issue a temporary civil stalking injunction containing specific no contact orders, including time limits on respondents' online social, blah, 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 right? As a reminder, the court found cause. I showed you at the beginning of the stream what that was. I showed you at the beginning of the stream what that was. Right? That was the request for a stalking injunction. Let me pull it back up. Mm-hmm. So the bar is low. So the ex parte motion to enforce, it just is saying, you know, temporary civil. It's temporary civil stalking injunction, right? Based on feelings. It's so fucking bizarre. It's so bizarre. So the evidentiary, let me just see if I can find the evidentiary bar. Does anybody off the top of their head know what the evidence bar is for the civil stalking, the temporary one? Because I think it's pretty low. Okay, so he's claiming the respondent has violated the court order within 24 hours. She then repeatedly violated it 5, italicized, more times between September 5th and 7th. Each violation constitutes a criminal offense. No, because no. You can put all that into a document. And this is the thing that bugs the shit out of me. You can make all of these allegations and then you run like scalded dogs. When Christina tries to come and show and have her day in court, you cowards. Cowards. So Kelly Keller, recent grad, says it's if the facts asserted are true as stated, they would need one. But then they would have both parties come in. So that's why there's temporary, right? I believe that's right. So it's temporary until it's not. And so that's the audio that we were listening to yesterday when they had that sort of preliminary thing where Mr. Daston Dow thought he was going to get an entire fucking day, even though the judge was like, dude, what would make you think that? God. This case involves ongoing, okay, this litany of bullshit, again, they walked away from this. And I don't care at this point what they try to spin and what they try to sell their gems. The claims that they're making are unfounded. And she walked away from this. She walked away from this and made that 9-hour live to, in my opinion, get out in front of it. Right. Is ex parte. Yeah, that's true. So that's right. Right. So Janice is saying we thought we were going to the court that day and said it would be over. Little did we know. It's so weird. Hey, allegedly. How are ya? Controlling the narrative. That's what, yeah. And I mean, that's what they do, right? I mean, that's why John quotes from dead white men's books and tries to make you think that he's just more than he is. Yeah, sir, you're licensed. Great. Who cares? You know, who cares? These people need to be pantsed just repeatedly. And, you know, saying that somebody is bothering you or harassing you is one thing, but to go all out, balls to the wall, and say that this woman was stalking her, when we have seen, going through this date by date, filing by filing, that it wasn't just Christina wasn't even in the country. I need to keep saying that. Thank you, CH. I need to keep saying that because the thing is, it's like, it's a, here's my request that nobody asked for. This could go away, I think, if they would take down that fucking live, that 9-hour live, and that stupid response. Take it down. Because you didn't have the balls to bring it into a courtroom. And you didn't have the balls to bring it into a courtroom because the judge knew what you were doing. The judge could smell exactly what you two were stepping in. Let me see if I have. And that's why I have that audio. That's why everybody has that piece of audio clipped. Because the judge nails it from the very jump. Just flat out nails it. Because he can, it's again, judges aren't, man, judges have seen it all. Cripes. I'm trying to pull that. I'm trying to pull that up because it's like he knew by the time let me see. He knew by the time they got into the courtroom and when they couldn't make any sort of deal in the hallway to just make this whole thing go away, he knew what was up. Let me see. I'm just going to play it. A one-sided order, right? So he's this is like the nutshell. To me, this is the nutshell argument. That the judge is just cutting through the bullshit. He's just cutting through the bullshit. One-sided information. They don't like to tell you this. They don't like to tell you that the court was like, now, you know what we're trying to do here, because what happened right before this, and everybody knows where to get a hold of the audio for this. What Lauren's attorney said just before this, what her lawyer said just before this was that they thought the easiest way to get this whole thing done and dusted was to get a permanent injunction, right? They were like, that'll do it. That'll do it. We'll just go ahead and look, just let us go ahead and get the stalking injunction and full time, and we'll be out of your hair. And Christina's like, no, I'm standing on business. What in the hell are you talking about, Janice Ballet Flats? She compared herself to Charlie Kirk? Oh my God. Okay. Of course. Well, whatever. I mean, maybe in some ways. Good God. Anyway, so the judge had it nailed. Ding, ding, ding. He sees you. And so when they bring this forward, this is, I think, the last filing before they dismiss, and it's a one-page dismissal, just saying I'm out of here. Basically, let me see if I have it. Yeah. So here's, and again, I'll get this to subtext. But this is them coming forward on the 14th, right? So they realize this is filed. This is like the motion to exclude media comes on October 8th. Then October 14th. And remember, if you will, the 16th was going to be the evidentiary hearing. So from the 8th to the 14th, when Christina didn't crack, her lawyers didn't crack because her lawyers were zealously advocating for their client. And their client was, willing to go through this even further to clear her name. And Lauren's like, now, you know what? 4th Judicial District Provo, I am going to go ahead and say this matter comes before the court hearing on the petitioner's motion to continue. Mr. Deese addresses the court and moves to dismiss the petition for civil stalking injunction. Mr. Dunkelberger stipulates. Now, here's something interesting. Oh, damn it. Okay, so the court grants the motion and dismisses the temporary civil stalking injunction. The evidentiary hearing is hereby stricken and the case is closed. Right? So we go from a 14-page litigation, one-sided litigation, right? One-sided pleading. They've done this, they've done that. Media coverage would enable respondents, ongoing campaign of harassment. Bullshit. Demonstrated a pattern of harassment. Bullshit. Detail. Oh my God. It's just so gross. Fundamental fairness. Respondent has chosen to engage in a stalking conduct necessitates these proceedings. Truly, is there a way to go back and order the court to seal this shit? Yeah, 14-page Crimea River. Because the thing is that this shouldn't exist in the world anymore. Except unless people are going to utilize it to the fullest extent and talk about it. Because again, it's what the judge says. It seems like what you're trying to do in this case, is intimidate this person. It's just, can we get Andy some Valium? It'll be over in a minute. Yeah, Andy gets worked up over injustice, allegedly. Yeah. And so it's just, you have this on the 8th, and then they're like, nah, you know what? Fuck it. We'll drop this on the 14th, which is my dad's birthday. Happy birthday. So, good Lord. It's just this thing went off the rails today, and for that I apologize. I'm gonna have to go back through and put some timestamps in here. But wow, I'm exhausted again. But yeah, it's a 14 pages of never mind. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, I hate that so much. Ola compared herself to Charles Valley. Here's the thing. I'm going to get her for Christmas next year a couple pieces of wood so she can make herself a cross and drag herself up on top of it. Look, no disrespect to the Jesus of the Christ. I was raised Catholic. Come here, cat. But she is really doing the most. Come here, baby. Toot, toot, toot. Oh, hi, Flo. I'm sorry. I haven't been going through the chat. Ooh. But I'm going to have to go feed this cat soon. So hi, Flo. How are you? Let's see. What am I missing? Janice. I'm tired of, so Quinn says, I'm tired of people thinking saying things close enough to accurate is okay because it isn't for anyone. No. Nope. Hi, sweetie. What are you doing? Crazy? It's my cat. I'm going to have to bring her back on stage pretty soon because she's real cute. But let's see. I'm going back through chat. Yeah, the comparison to, I mean, this is an observation that I get. So Lover Bad Pun said they're emboldened to do this because of cops and the detective. Oh, yes, Bobby acting like her personal goon squad. In your opinion, I think that's a fair assessment. And the thing is that I forgot, at one point, everybody was trying to get that information about that email that went out from a police officer to, it's just, you have to be careful about how you're using the tools of the law, including law enforcement. I'm trying to calculate in my head how much taxpayer money that the Hidden True Crime LLC family of products has cost the taxpayer, let alone Christina. I don't know. It's, yes, we'll say bye to Toots. Oh, and Trisha's next week, I think, maybe. Because I found a whole bunch of stuff about Othram that makes me scratchy and itchy. Catholic cat lick, that too. I grew up in a house with crucifixes. I'm fine with it. Making a trip to Boise, got some business there, Flo says. Oh, all right. Wait, Lover Band Puns, did you dish something that I've missed? I see people saying, oh, so true, Lover Bad Puns. I find James one-time plans to build a new home. Huh? What? I've never heard that. James one-time plans to build a new home with a studio. I didn't know that. I have no idea. I have no intel. Oh. Well, I've got documents for you, subtext. I've got some documents for you. So let's go say goodbye to Toots, shall we? Let's go on a little walkie. It's getting hotter than a blowtorch in this place. Where are you at, boo? Oh, you want to go outside? Hello, where are you going? No. Come here. Okay. There we go. Come here. Where are you going? Hey. Hey. My poor cat. What are you doing? Oh, there's my baby. Oh my God. How is everybody? That was crazy. It was a lot and it was all over the place and it didn't go anything like I thought it was going to. So I'm sorry for that. But woo, I am what you get on the tin, and that's a nut job. So I'm gonna go take the cat. Actually, you know what? Palate cleanser before we go. Aside from Toots, I'll show you my garden. I mean, it's kind of a garden. It's Toots. Oh, the sun came out. So I planted, let's see. You guys can see that, but I planted grass. Can you see it? What a pain in the ass I'm being. Hang on. Stay with me. My luscious grass. These are my baby tomatoes. Sunflowers. Potato. More kitty grass. So this is where the Toots gets to come out on her leash. So we're in the grass. I know. So thank you guys so much. I know it was a little all over the place, but it's I miss my actual rooftop deck. I miss my Iowa dirt, but look, as always, you guys know I hate you all.